Hey everybody, clearing. Okay, so we're heading into, we're between the new moon and the quarter moon. I'm wearing a moon shirt, so I don't know what's going on, but there's something. I'm gonna do an in-depth reading for the week. This is a Sunday. I don't usually do Sunday readings, but let's just take a look at where the divine masculines are. Oh my gosh, I just split the deck and we got the World and the Fool. That's the last major arcana and the first. So there's like boom, boom. End of one cycle and the beginning of a new. I'm very much feeling though to jump into what are the divine masculines dealing with this week, emotionally, mentally, and physically. Let's have a look. I can't tell you how many King of Pentacles in the reverse showed up over the last while in private reads and here on YouTube on my channel's messages. So King of Pentacles in the reverse every single time was the issue of commitment or past commitment fears coming to mind for the divine masculines, like a reconsideration, the idea of monogamy, the idea of could they commit to one person. There's been a shift. I've noticed there has been a shift. Something has happened that has tempered the divine masculines sexually. Wow, temperance, just as I say that, with the free will card, deciding that they don't want to contribute to their lack of healing anymore. It's a major energy. We are coming into the 11/11 portal, but let's see what we can get for this week coming up for the divine masculines. Emotionally, mentally, and physically. Divine Creator, what is it we can see? Wow, is everything in the reverse? Okay, major changes over this week. Emotionally, we have the key card as the Magician. The Magician is a beginner, but they have one of each of the suits. There's some thought, some material realm experience, some knowledge of spirituality, some exposure to love, and wanting to go towards things quickly. There's a cheetah here, so kind of, cheetahs are super quick and, it's a leap before you look kind of energy, going for the manifestations, but not looking where someone's going. In the reverse, like it is, they don't want to do that anymore. There's like a disconnect or a realization between emotional satisfaction and what has been manifested. It's like the brakes are on and they don't want to manifest things so haphazardly. The divine masculines are incredible manifestors. Incredible. They can do whatever they put their minds to, literally. There's a bit of a changeover in this energy that I'm feeling, is that they are opening up to co-creative energy. They don't want to do it out of ego anymore. Okay, what we're getting, the first group is Star. That is the hope, the wish. They might be feeling a bit discouraged because of something that they manifested in the past. It didn't work out the way that they thought, and it came back to bite them. It ended up bringing a lot of burden. It wasn't the public acclaim with the Star and this card of victory. These are both larger than life energies in the upright. In the reverse with burden, something did not pan out the way that they thought, based on a manifestation they thought they were going towards. And here we have my card of codependency, over emotionality, and the Emperor, control issues. So yeah, they've been headstrong. They have gone for things because they thought that's the way to do it. Emotionally, they put all of their investment into what they thought others would think was the best approach the best way to do it, whatever they bought into, that they were sold as a youngster, as the dream, they went for it. It has been leaving them lacking. They're on the fence right now, and because everything came out in the reverse, I'm going to turn it over, and now we're dealing with getting a handle on what we actually want to manifest. Back to the drawing board kind of energy. A new beginning, a new commitment to bringing in things that are actually a fit, things that are in the wholeness, the energy of autonomy, sovereignty, truly supportive, not guarded in a prickly way, but these feathers are soft. It's a gentle energy. It's not defensive. It's accommodating. Balanced emotions, coming from a place of accurately representing the love that they hold in their hearts. Staying in balance, not losing their cool, not being angry, being protective. Look at this eclipse energy with the sun hugging the moon. Someone told me just yesterday the eclipse is so sexual, the energy of the two becoming one like that. And so there is this emperor energy of wanting to merge with the divine feminine, truly having a counterpart. The masculines are becoming emotionally ready for a more cosmic, less worldly option. Emotional nurturing. They definitely want to collapse the burden and have the passion come back in. There's a sense here of exhaustion, of carrying too much responsibility and wanting to share. These cards are together, sharing the load, seeing the value in partnering, not having to be, the man that gets all the credit, the lone wolf energy. And then this humble victory, the hope, the rising above, the transformation, overcoming the burden. I believe divine masculines know that they've been headstrong. They're taking a little bit of a pause here to say, wait a second, I can be more inclusive. I can be softer. I can have my own independent energy and express it in a way that's not at odds, that is a more cosmic frequency. Emotions can truly be otherworldly. Wow, it's a bit larger than life, but it's a bit humbling because it's not the egotistical larger than life. It's a surrendered acceptance of a more cosmic knowing rather than trying to prove. It's relaxing into knowing that that aspect of reality has always been there. This is an interesting energetic shift, coming back into the soft safety of alignment with eternal energies and place and belonging in this earthly dimension. The emotions are settling in. There is a tempering of the emotions happening in real time. Okay, conscious mind. Getting the Lovers, Hanged Man. What else are we going to get here? Chariot, moving things forward. So at Chariot, there's that eclipse energy again, but it's the sun coming out. There's movement here. I'm going to get to that, but this is the key card. This is moving forward. Usually there's a balance of yin and yang, and we do kind of see that with how much we talked about the Emperor energy here. Oh, of course, we had a partial eclipse. That's why it's ambiguous. Yeah, we're in the eclipse energy here, coming in to the mix. So we are moving forward. There's a lot of changing. Eclipses are like valves that gate the energy. When it's a lunar eclipse, the moon goes in front of the sun and blocks out some of the light codes coming in. We're temporarily, partially, or fully removed from source, and we have to find that solar plexus internalized connection rather than the externalized connection. And it really allows us to stand on our own 2 feet. It can be psychologically very disconcerting, because there have been cataclysms when we have been blocked off from the sun for a lot longer than an eclipse, but there is this collective shudder that can happen in a less conscious population if we forget that we can tap in spiritually within. It can be deeply supporting during an eclipse if we remember our solar plexus and attune with that. So we are getting this influence with the eclipse, the moon energy here. Let's see what's going on the conscious mind, because I'm not certain that many of the divine masculines are overly aware of the eclipse. I believe that it's the influence we're seeing on their emotions and that King of Cups emotionality. King of Cups in the reverse, like we saw, can be crying, can be tears, can be volatile emotions. So grumpy mood, all of that. Yeah, so on the conscious mind, we are getting the Lovers. This is the higher love. This is that cosmic bigger picture that is made of love, that the divine masculines emotionally are sort of letting go into the comfort of, instead of self-soothing with sexual partners, addictions, spending, you know, anything that they've been doing as a coping. I'm seeing them releasing the coping method and just believing in the fabric of reality being benevolent. The Lovers for me is the higher love that exists whether you believe it or not. And when this card shows up, there is a conscious recognition of that energy. There's an awareness in one's life that there is a higher plan, a higher way of looking at things, that this is an option on the conscious mind. And here it is on the conscious mind. So the Hanged Man, radical new way of looking at reality, is coming in over this eclipse. This is, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. It's a more spiritually relaxed, yet more potent. So not so much legalistic dogma. It's more of an embodied trust, knowing, sheer exhaustion, making it such that the masculines just aren't gung-ho to be bullheaded and manifest things that they're just going to have to clean up afterwards. They're done running headlong into brick walls. I just heard. Wow. So radical. If they actually believe that the nature of reality is benevolent, they stand a fighting chance to just enjoy and not have to freaking work so hard against the grain, I just heard. So this is Seven of Pentacles, is a card of contemplation. It's a weighing of pros and cons. Like, it's a gardening card too. So what does true abundance take? How can I learn the inner workings? This is on the conscious mind. So if a higher interpretation, a more love-filled interpretation of reality exists, and I dare to believe in that, how do I work with it? What is aligning with that natural way of being? If that is encoded in the fabric of reality, how do I access that? What are the requirements to align with something like this to move forward? How do I move forward in this energy? What is the interconnectedness? The 7 and 8, that's nice tidy steps forward. 9 of Pentacles we already had. So we do have the 7, the 8, the 9 on the emotional level, and we're coming into the 10 here. So divine masculines are making brisk steps forward. We had the cheetah and the chariot. Like, there is a streamlining motion happening here. So we're getting into the 8 of Pentacles. Look at the spider web. It's the interconnectedness. It's a specialization card. So once we see the web of connection, we have exponentially more resource at our disposal, because we can bring in certain energies in substitution or replacement or new configurations. It's like with this grid outlined, all these seemingly unattached options now become interdependent, and we can manipulate in a positive way. It's more malleable. There are more options to play with, more ways of looking at things, more creativity, more innovation, because we see this is not a cog that only has one application. We can pull this cog in. If this one isn't as well suited, this can come in and make a different flavor or have a different nuance. We don't need to be so dogmatic, legalistic, religious. Things are more flexible. Wow, divine masculines, you're seeing that if there is this ground safety, you can relax and be more flexible. You don't have to have such a rigid way of going about things. This allows for a team playing energy, because now there's not so much right and wrong. Wow, divine masculines, that's the balance that's needed to come in. So I'm just being reminded of the patriarchy and how the masculine assumed the position of the godhead on the planet. And now that the divine feminine is coming back into balance, we have this limber, flexible, spontaneous, intuitive, subtle energy returning and giving the divine masculines permission not to have to carry the load all on their own, not to have to streamline. And that goes for the divine feminines that have had the wear the pants in the family. You know, as the divine feminine integrates the divine masculine safety and protection, the internal emperor, there is a phase where it's a little too extra and the divine feminine needs to soften. The divine feminines have gone through that humbling process largely, and now we're seeing the divine masculines coming into this. I saw this 9 of Pentacles from about April of 2020 for the divine feminines until, a full year. This card showed up as the divine feminines were embodying independence and autonomy like never before on the planet, coming back into the cycle of being able to be spiritually realized and whole without a masculine in their lives. We're now seeing the divine masculines softening and figuring out how to self-soothe. So while the divine feminine anchors safety when integrating the inner divine masculine, the divine masculines integrate nurture and self-soothing instead of having to get that outside of themselves. And that allows for true interconnectedness, teamwork, forward motion, and authentic abundance. The 10 of coins showed up in the reverse, so there is still the missing piece. When we reach the 9 of coins, which is free from codependency and addictions and crutches, we can hold our own in a relationship, and it becomes that which legends are made of. It becomes legacy, true legacy. So the only thing missing is a divine counterpart. This eclipse energy, the teamwork. The only thing missing is now this opportunity to truly team up with the divine and the divine counterpart. The divine counterpart is an external manifestation of the internal union. We partner externally when we balance out internally. That manifests as a reflection of our internal energy. And it is a divine process. So true balance is coming in on the conscious mind. Divine masculines are beginning to see. I don't know if they know necessarily, from what I'm recognizing here, that they can access this with a person. It seems like a conscious puzzle being worked in their own right. I don't see divine feminine energy too heavily. There is some allusion to it with the traditional chariot interpretation of the yin-yang, light and dark horses that typically pull the chariot, and then these two geese in the lovers. We do have it on either end of this reading with the teamwork. So for some divine masculines, they are wishing for a counterpart that can offset their shortcomings and support their strong suits. They know now that they can be augmented in team energy instead of having to go it alone. They're softening and opening up and letting more receptivity in. This does not feel nearly as blocked this week as the energies have felt in the past year. The past year for the divine masculines. Okay, let's see in the physical what we're getting. Ooh, anxiety in the reverse and the sun coming out. Oh my gosh, got some good things here. Ace of Pentacles, this new beginning. So yeah, we saw the Magician in the reverse. They don't want to force things anymore. That was emotionally for the key card. Then the Chariot moving forward. And then the physical, we have this new beginning coming in. April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. Yeah, so we are seeing the beginning of this 6-month window. I channeled a while ago, and I think it was in April, if I'm not mistaken, that there was going to be a 6-month blip for the divine masculines where they just had work to do. They were going to be stuck in an energy, and that these new beginnings weren't going to be coming in. And now in November, we are in the 7th month from that, and we see it in the upright. It came out like in April in the reverse a lot, and then in the upright now. So we are seeing this emergence of the new beginning coming out of this sort of bubble of energy this year. We've got the anxiety in the reverse, and then the sun coming out. We saw the sun coming out with the Chariot as well, going towards wish fulfillment, saying no to the anxiety. Anxiety is, I want to say again, anxiety is the difference. It's a suffering energy. It's the difference between our higher self awareness of love. The awareness and belief in love is the ultimate baseline. North Star. Anxiety is trauma. It is discrepancy. In energetic terms, it is the discrepancy between that higher love and the rock bottom way that we let our higher selves down. If we're thinking negative thoughts, if we're being a real jerk, if we're witnessing somebody in a very disintegrated energy that's just being reckless, acting out, anxiety comes in. If something is that far out of alignment, anxiety is an emotional indicator of that suffering. So we can take instruction from that. And if anxiety is very far away from, it's pretty energetically distant from the awareness of love. And so when we go into anxiety, if we can remember that it is a state of suffering connected with a discrepancy that is quite a distance away from the reality of love in that moment, we can start looking at how to move back into alignment. And that anxiety should just be an energetic nudge towards enlightenment, towards the higher truth, towards that. In the reverse, the divine masculines are coming out of the darkness. This is losing sleep at night. This is crazy making energy. In the reverse, it could be hopped up on steroids level nightmares that have resulted from the divine masculines being frivolous, maybe making some egoic choices, maybe with that magician in the reverse, that some masculines are getting some kind of a karmic backlash that has impressed upon them that's no way to live, that elusive attempt at freedom or sort of midlife crisis energy for some. There's been quite acting out and lawlessness, rebelliousness, mayhem, that it resulted in some dead-end streets. The enlightenment is that there is this wish fulfillment that can be traveled towards. Just getting another message. I'm being asked to pull some clarifiers on this, actually, on this wish fulfillment. The wish comes from the enlightenment. They have a new, that's what it is. They have a new set of wishes going forward out of the anxiety. They don't want to do that again. They're telling themselves, yeah, that didn't work out. That wasn't as great. The grass wasn't greener. It wasn't as fun as I thought that was going to be. Something came in and said it's more trouble than it's worth. Going towards the light. When we focus on the light, everything is illuminated. All the shadows come up to be seen. If we focus on the crazy making shadow energy, it is not based in order and reason. And so we won't find clarity in it. The more we dive into the darkness, into this crazy making energy, we won't find truth. It will take us around and around in the maze, and it will just become unsatisfactory. And then boom, the light comes in, and we wish in a different direction. I'm seeing this Nine of Swords and the Nine of Cups as the opposite. It's like the underworld and the heavenly here, with this sun coming up and illuminating the difference between all that glitters is gold kind of energy. So right here in the physical, the divine masculines with this energy coming in, this flipping of the eclipse energy. It's something about the inner outer attempts at self-soothing of the past being anchored, and this empowerment, the solar plexus, the inner sun, permission to be unapologetically them and to really get real with themselves about, like, when we get full enlightenment right in the physical realm, this is like something the divine masculines are going for now. This new wish, it's their true essence. It's something that would have been a natural fit all along, but would have felt like it was taken for granted, like, oh, that wouldn't be so important to me. I don't need to do that. Let's pull clarifiers. So what is this energy? What is this hidden in broad daylight kind of energy, the divine masculines? We get the moon, we get divine feminine. Literally, we get divine feminine here. So we get this eclipse energy. It is so sexual, the eclipse, the merging of the two, all of it. And so the inclusion of the feminine, the, oh, duh, I can't just be the sun, I need the moon. We are divine counterpart energy. There is the balance, the yin yang. And if it's not just obvious as plain day, wanting to include the feminine attributes in way of you, Divine Feminine, it is brutally obvious that the Divine Masculines were missing some of the subconscious, automatic aha moments that were running the show and causing them to go for choices that did not align with their highest truth, their deepest understanding, their most broad, unilateral experience of the isness. And now they're moving towards progress. They're stopping this lying to themselves energy. The Seven of Swords is secrecy, self-interest, cunning, lying, stealing, acting out in a way that serves no one. Sometimes in the reverse, it is beginning to open up more authentically to what? Progress. And then we get, communication of this progress. On my table, it's like this. It's kind of mirrored. So this sword is pointing towards the progress, and this eye is looking at the progress too. So it's like all motivations are towards actual progress. We saw this moving forward. This could be a trip for some. With the Chariot, it could be physically moving to a new location for some. Some are going to physically get out of situations. But certainly emotionally, there's an unhooking here. There is a brand new something coming in because there's been a radical new way of looking at things with brand new inner motivation and commitment to themselves. And we've seen that time and time again, that it's synonymous with commitment to Divine Feminine. When this union within happens, oh, look at the colors inside of this new beginning. So this new prosperous beginning is the combination of these colors internally, which does manifest naturally as it becomes exponential and unfolds in union externally with a perfect counterpart. Wow. Okay, so for the Divine Feminines watching, let's get Starseed Oracle. What can we see for the Divine Feminines watching? Dimensional planes of perception number 5, spiritual strength, virtue, and valor. So we did get this virtue, this valor. 6 of Wands in the first emotional bit was in the reverse and then was turned upright with the rest of the cards. This is the virtue. This is the winning, the overcoming, win-win. But spiritual strength, this is what has been needed. The Divine Masculines have been in weak energy. They've been succumbing to temptation. They've been buying into what they thought the world, others had figured out that they did not feel in the loop with. They were trying it on for size to see if it offered something that was more important, more fulfilling than what they already kind of knew. And I'm really getting that now they're qualified. They're qualified because they've walked through the valley of the shadow of death. They've walked through this as far from connection with higher source as they could, and they've come full circle. They've come full circle. 5 is a card of change. Okay, interesting. Let's see. I'm trying to decide if I should continue and do the daily Divine Masculine reading, because I'm just... Let's get 2 more for the masculines. Joy, playfulness, and pleasure. And chamber of communication, correspondence, declaration, and telepathy. So I'm just getting that the energy is going to start lightening after the 1111 portal. As this energy sinks in, as the divine masculines do this changeover on whatever level they're at in the ability to embody this, that the telepathic, energetic connection between you and your divine masculine, divine feminines, is going to lighten. It's going to feel better. There have been heavy energies this year, and it does feel like these connections are rising up. I'm looking at Blue Star of Hope, Ascension, Surrender, and Purification, and I'm looking at the Star card here in the emotional realm. So yeah, surrender, purification. Divine masculines are letting go of things that don't serve them, that don't fulfill. And in the physical, I just heard pledging to go towards this king, or this king of coins, the ace, this new beginning in the physical towards embodiment. 9 and 1 is 10. This becoming, the stepping forward on the new foundation, wanting to initiate that based on integrity and truth, going forward, ascending. Wow, yeah. It's big stuff, and it takes real heart to move these mountains, but the masculines are coming to it. It's not an easy process. It doesn't happen overnight. As you can see, this is sort of the energy of the week, and we have a lot of other waves and rolling recognition of this energy coming in over the next while. It is a process, it's a journey, it's a becoming. Just keep trusting it, keep loving and becoming, everybody. Wow, do I end this here? Yeah, I think I do. Oh, I'm torn. What the heck. Let's keep going. Why not? I'm just going to keep going. Okay, so thank you, Divine Creator. What can we see for the daily Divine Masculine reading? What are the masculines thinking of their Divine Feminine in light of everything that's come through? What are the Divine Masculines thinking of their Divine Feminine, feeling on their heart space, wishing for the connection? What actions are being taken? Oh. Started shuffling one deck and I'm told this one. What actions are being taken? What is the biggest challenge regarding the connection with their Divine Feminine at this time? What is the spirit guided solution for that challenge? And where on the conscious mind are the Divine Masculines feeling like moving the energy? Okay. What are they thinking about? 5 of Cups and the World. Oh, I just heard they've got to figure out how to get out of this cringy energy. It's all being revealed, the things they've been buying into, the things they've been chasing, the things that they've been saying makes them happy. There's a lot of humble pie in some ways here. But at the same time, it's just a sweet surrender. It's also grace. So Divine Masculines watching, don't get hung up too much in the flogging yourself. Remember, this can also be a joyful thing to just say, oh my gosh, thank goodness, I see it now. What did I hear? I heard the other day that, or today, I heard the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, and the second best time is right now. That's kind of the seize the moment, the tree of life. Plant that tree of life now, Divine Masculine. So what if you didn't know? at least you do now kind of thing. So on the conscious mind, there is a tenderness. I do want to honor that, divine masculines, that it's not easy to see the error of our ways and to feel like we have a hope and like the emotions aren't going to swallow us whole sometimes, but you will get through this. This too shall pass. You've got this. Okay, on the heart space for the feminines, there's the Two of Cups. So look, Five of Cups in the reverse always highlights the Two of Cups, and we have it here on the heart space with the Four of Cups in the reverse. This is the one that got away, losing out, not being able to let go of the past. In the reverse, it's accepting the cup of love and profound awareness of this connection. So for the divine masculines that this reading is channeling, those eclipse energies, we have the cosmic counterparts here on the heart space. So I would say for even more than I was initially getting, there is a recognition that when they come back away from the things that they've been crutching on, there is this beautiful recognition that you're the obvious choice, divine feminine. And there's so much appreciation. And this does feel like a recognition from the past where the divine masculines have resisted, have said no, have maybe said the love wasn't there or matched between the two. This is sort of a coming back around and admitting that, yeah, on second thought, you really are all that divine feminine. What are the divine masculines wishing for? Here's the Nine of Swords in the reverse again. So that's the suffering energy that we just saw in the physical. So they're wishing to, here's the Tower. These are both in the reverse. So they're having an internal crisis. This is not an external Tower moment in the physical. As far as I'm getting, this is like a radical new aha moment that to end the suffering, they need to really actually rethink the way that they've been believing this world works. Like, pull the energy back in and not follow the ways of the world and get real with their own inner knowing. I'm hearing again the stuff they took for granted or dismissed as boring. That straight and narrow righteous path looks a little bit more appealing now, because all the other attempts at worldly pursuits resulted in more trouble than it was worth. And so they are wishing to unlock this and let go of the anxiety, let go of the drama. Yeah. What action's being taken? Oh, freeing the mind and seeing where true passion lays. This is still becoming a lot of energies in the reverse here. Only the Two of Cups, the only energy in the upright is on the heart space for the feminine here. Everything else is in the reverse, and I'm hearing the eclipse is turning everything upside down. It's an inverse. I want to say again that the Gaia grid, the 3D grid, the toroidal flow going through the earth was going one way, and the 5D crystalline grid is going the other way. And so it is much like the way we look at things with the lens in our eye flipping for our brain. It's that flip-flop energy that we go from the 3D to the 5D. There's so much flip-flop energy, looking at things in radically new ways here, seeing that almost the opposite is actually the spiritual truth contained within certain preconceived notions, assumptions that did not pan out There is a real retracting and saying, on second thought, I actually feel exactly the opposite. I don't feel satisfied in certain directions, and actually I've been deluding myself. It really is that severe of a opposing realities, the mask. It reminds me of homophobes. Quite honestly, it's that cliche kind of a thing that, you know, that's how, one example that's coming to mind. Really interesting. Okay, what is the biggest challenge? 3 of Wands and 6 of Swords. Progress and knowing what to manifest. Exactly. We saw the Magician in the upright. Or sorry, in the reverse, and then it flipped in the upright. This is another card of manifestation in the reverse. This is the second card we've had here in the upright. So progress towards this divine love is the challenge, but how that should look, what the new manifestation goal should be. So we did see that divine masculines, you were coming into the awareness of teamwork. So instead of being headstrong and thinking that they have it all figured out, the divine masculines realize they've got to take a step back and look at the big picture, all in the same motion, and not be so gung-ho to manifest stubborn things based on previous ways that have resulted in arrogant outcomes, that have been one-sided, that have been self-seeking, that have been worldly. There is a challenge here that true progress is going to be more open-minded, more realistic, more accommodating, more practical, more organic than previous attempts. What's the solution? Oh, flat out, divine masculines, don't lie to yourself that you're in separation with your feminine. Literally, that's the message I just got here. Here's the card of separation, but it's also my card of the 5D. There's that 7 of Swords again, in the reverse again, about not deluding yourselves, divine masculines. So this is being real, that there has been abandonment playing out. Divine masculines, you have forsaken your truth, your deepest fulfillment. This aha moment, the enlightenment that has come in, has reminded you that the things that you have downplayed or dismissed within, that have actually been your core essence, those things that make you who you really are, you've been negating those. You've been suppressing those. You've been pretending like those weren't valuable. You haven't been feeling worthy. You've been wearing a mask because you didn't feel like you could express that part of yourself. That part of yourself is the natural fit for your divine feminine. And literally the spirit guidance is, if you don't know what to manifest, come out of the separation with your feminine. Stop deluding yourself and give it a shot. It takes 2. You can't actually manifest just in masculine energy. So don't do it within you. And you don't need to do it regarding relationship or this relationship with your divine feminine. When you stop resisting that internally, there is this obvious choice coming in. So stop deluding yourself that you have to go it alone. Allow the softness to come back in. Allow the recognition, the truth to come back in. Wow. Where is this connection going? King of Cups in the upright and the 5 of Cups. The 5 of Cups again. We opened the reading with the 5 of Cups in the reverse and the World, needing to finalize the grieving, letting go of the things that didn't work out, the worldly beliefs that didn't produce love, focusing on the love, focusing on the learning. This is a divine feminine here sobbing. I believe because, you know, divine masculine, you've been rejecting, you've been holding the feminine at bay, not telling the feminine how you truly feel. And so there is a recognition. There's a conscious awareness here with the crown chakra that this cup of love can be offered. I'm being reminded of the Two of Cups again. Oh, divine masculines, lots of messages about how you've been holding this love at bay and blocking it because you have not felt worthy of showing your heart, your essence. You downplayed the value of who you really are, your uniqueness. And that has only made this divine feminine very, very sad. Oh. You've been very sad within as well. The mask is dropping on all the divine masculines that have been pretending like they were happy without their feminine, without expressing the true them. Oh, you just can't make it up. Okay, what shall we do? Let's get one secret shaman. No, hang on. Secret Shaman Oracle. She's great. Mystical Shaman Oracle is what I'm gonna get here. What can we see? Mystical Shaman Oracle for the union space. The sacrifice. Oh, this is gorgeous. We are getting down to the essence of the heart, everyone. That's a 44 card. Okay, to sacrifice means to make sacred. The sacrifice is an offering of gratitude made from the heart, a feast of love prepared for spirit. In olden days, sacrifices sometimes involved rituals in which blood was offered to the gods. For example, in the Bible, Yahweh preferred Abel's sacrifice of one of his lambs to Cain's offering of vegetables and fruits. In Middle America, however, Quetzalcoatl, the Lord of the Dawn, came to teach that spirit preferred our songs and our prayers to the blood of humans or animals. The sacrifice asks that you offer to spirit that which is most precious to you. Your offering will be sanctified and returned tenfold. There's that 10 of Pentacles abundance coming in. You will be elevated to the altar at which you've been praying and meet the divine at the table with that heavenly feast. You are a welcome guest in this banquet. Your heart is the only worthy offering you can bring, divine masculines. Life has been generous with you in so many ways. So divine feminines have come into the worthiness to know that it is truly our hearts that is the gold. And the only thing we've ever really been offering our masculines and divine masculines, you're getting down into that refining, understanding that it is your heart that is also the only worthy place to come from, to offer, to experience, and to love in. Ooh, such an essence in today's reading. How beautiful. Okay, a pleasure hanging out on a Sunday, my friends, my loves. Bye for now.